So, I found this Twitter post. This will forever be the Sonic main cast for me. Now, at first glance, this collection of images seems pretty normal, but very soon you realize that one of these characters is not like the others. You've got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and... Cream. Cream the Rabbit's history is quite interesting. Her first proper appearance was in Sonic Advance 2, released in December 2002 on the Game Boy Advance. However, she was originally created for Sonic Heroes, released in December 2003, where she ended up as a part of Team Rose along with Amy and Big the Cat. Cream is a little rabbit girl who can fly by flapping her ears. She's very friendly, polite, and innocent, sometimes to a fault. Cream is often seen with her child companion Cheese. She met Sonic and friends when her and her mother Vanilla were kidnapped by Dr. Eggman in Sonic Advance 2. After being saved by Sonic, she joined him in order to rescue her mother. The developers decided that Cream should appear first in Sonic Advance 2. I've heard multiple reasons as to why it was chosen for Cream to appear early in Sonic Advance 2. One explanation I've heard was that it was to make players familiar with her character, which does make sense, as it would be kinda weird if some random new character just showed up hanging out with Amy and Big in Sonic Heroes. The second reason I've heard is that Cream was included first in Advance 2 to make that game feel more unique compared to the original Sonic Advance. Another reasonable explanation. The Sonic series has been known to take risks in order to spice things up. The last explanation I've heard is that Cream was added to Advance 2 to give beginner players an easier option for playing the game. Cream does kind of break the game with her flying ability, so I can also believe this reasoning. All the explanations do make some amount of sense, so I guess it's up to you watching what you want to believe. Who knows, maybe none of them are true, as I couldn't find any direct quotes corroborating any of these explanations. In any case, Cream properly debuted in Sonic Advance 2. However, technically, her first appearance in a game was actually in Sonic Mega Collection, released in November 2002. Artwork of her shows up as an image in the extra section of the game. Funnily enough, Cream appeared in another game before Sonic Heroes where she was originally supposed to debut, and that game was Sonic Pinball Party, released on the GBA in May 2003. She shows up on the Casinopolis game select screen. What's even funnier is that Cream got a cameo in another game that was released before Sonic Heroes. That game was Sonic Adventure DX on the GameCube, released in June 2003. Sonic Adventure DX is a remake of the original Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast, and the developers of the remake decided to add several moments throughout the game where you can see Cream flying around. There are even a few posters of her in some of the mission mode levels. What's the funniest thing ever is that Cream appeared as a playable character with her own story in another game that was released before Sonic Heroes. That game was Sonic Battle on the GBA. As you can see, Cream was given a lot of hype and attention across multiple games around the time of her debut. She even appeared prominently in the Sonic X anime, which began airing in April 2003. At that time, Cream could definitely be considered a part of the main cast of Sonic, along with the likes of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy. Cream continued to make frequent appearances through the rest of the mid-2000s. She returned as a playable character in Sonic Advance 3 in 2004, she played an important role as a friend to Blaze in Sonic Rush in 2005, and she showed up in 2006's Sonic Riders with a nice alternate design featuring a slick visor. It's safe to say that for most of the 2000s, Cream was a pretty significant character in the series. But then, a certain game changed everything. This game and the negative backlash that came from it led to a purge of Sonic side characters. People like Vector, Blaze, and even fan favorites like Shadow were cast aside, only to show up in the occasional side game and the semi-annual trip to the Olympics. Of course, if characters as important to the franchise as Knuckles were getting neglected, you can be sure that Cream fell by the wayside as well. Like many of the other characters, she still showed up, but her role in the franchise was drastically reduced. Cream's last appearance in a mainline Sonic game was Sonic Generations back in 2011. Well, technically she did appear in another mainline Sonic game after that. You wanna know what that game is? The remaster of Sonic Generations, released just recently in October 2024. To say that Cream fell off would be a gargantuan understatement. She hit rock bottom. She didn't even show up in Team Sonic Racing. Even Big got to be in that game. Even these random chows got to be in that game. Even Zavok got to be in that game. Does anyone actually care about Zavok? Cream's lack of appearances in recent years, especially in comparison to characters who have far less swag than her, like frickin' Zavok, has not gone unnoticed by fans. Apparently, there were plans to include her in 2023's The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, but because the dev team felt she was too young to be involved in a murder mystery, it was decided not to include her. I would be able to understand this reasoning if not for the fact that the whole point of the game was that it was a murder mystery party. You know, all fake, just pretend. But anyways, yeah, Cream was gone for a while. She even disappeared from animated material. Despite showing up in the vast majority of episodes in the Sonic X anime, she didn't appear at all in the Sonic Boom TV series or the Sonic Prime Netflix series. Interestingly, both series featured a fifth character to act as a member of the main cast. Sonic Boom introduced a new character, Styx the Badger, and Sonic Prime decided to add Rouge the Bat to the roster. I like Rouge, but I've always thought it was odd that she was the one chosen for the Sonic Prime crew. She never really had much connection with anyone else on the team other than Knuckles. Rouge has always gravitated towards Team Dark, not so much Team Sonic. At least with someone like Cream, she's cool with Sonic and Amy. Thankfully, Cream did return in last year's Sonic Dream Team as a playable character, and she does have a more prominent role in the story of that game, so that was nice to see. As for what the future holds for Cream, well, I'm not really sure. The Sonic franchise has definitely been more receptive to the supporting cast in recent years. Gone are the days of the late 2000s and early 2010s, when only Sonic and Tails were allowed to actually do anything in a mainline game. Obviously, a lot of characters lost relevance as time went on, but I think Cream took by far the most notable drop-off in significant appearances. Mostly because at one point during the early to mid 2000s, she was easily one of the most important and recognizable Sonic characters. And it seemed like Sonic Team really liked her too, since she got thrown into so many things, even if it was only for a cameo. Maybe the developers just don't really know what to do with her? They do already have multiple characters who have flying related abilities, so moveset wise, the only thing that makes her unique is her ability to use her buddy Cheese. Although I do think they could do something interesting with that. Look at Ice Climbers or Rosalina and Luma from Smash. There's always room to do cool stuff in video games with duo characters, so I think Cream and Cheese could work. As for the reasoning that Cream is too young to get involved in all of the dangerous adventures that the other characters go on, I think that's complete nonsense because we've already seen plenty of times when Cream has gone on adventures and been perfectly fine. If Cream was just some defenseless kid who couldn't protect herself, then yeah, I can understand why she isn't brought along. But in her very first proper appearance in the franchise, she's a playable character who helps take down Eggman. She's more than capable of handling herself. Now, don't get me wrong, we don't need Cream to be a main character in every game from now on, but I think she at least deserves a spot in the next Sonic Kart Racer. I think Cream is a cool character, and I would like to see the series do more with her in the future. If you can't get enough Sonic content, you can check out the other Sonic videos that I've done on the channel in this playlist here. That's all I've got to talk about for today though, so thanks for watching y'all, and have a great rest of your day.